almost the size of my mum's house in Stevenage where I grew up. She charges a fortune for affluent mothers to join, and is fussy who she lets in. You have to fit her criteria. I don't. But Claire was one of Petra's elite. Olivia! I glanced across the road to see Kim, one arm raised in a wave. I quite liked Kim. She seemed more down to earth than some of the other mothers. Olivia! She called again. It says Liv on my birth certificate, but when I applied to be Evie's nanny 2 months ago, the name Olivia fell out of my mouth, along with a fake posh accent I was now struggling to keep up. Maybe a part of me wanted to be like them. Maybe I would have given anything to have what they all had. Big houses, handsome husbands who surprised them with roses and took them to grotesquely priced restaurants. Maybe I envied them. After all, my life had been a train wreck up until that point. But if I dug deeper, I knew this wasn't about any of that. This was about Sophie. Hi, Kim, I called, crossing the quiet tree-lined road. She was heaving Dougie from the back of her car, his chubby legs kicking with excitement. He was large for 9 months, and had inherited Kim's ruddy cheeks, fair hair and small eyes. But he was a cute enough kid, with his constant smiles, much like his mum's. Kim squeezed Dougie into his padded sling. He refuses to go in his pram, she told me once. Screams the place down if I even try. I should probably try a pushchair, but he does so love being close to me. I'd wondered how hard she'd tried, as from what I could see, it seemed it was more that she wanted to keep him close to her. We've got a new member joining today. Kim nodded towards number 7, one of the grander houses on the avenue, and I knew exactly whose house it was. My pulse thumped in my neck. This was my moment. Sophy Pemberton, she continued. This was my doorway, my opening. I would finally get the chance to meet the woman who destroyed my family. I've chatted with her mother-in-law a few times at the park, Kim went on, and dropping her voice to a whisper, she said, She told me Sophie isn't coping too well, that she has to spend a lot of time at the house helping out. Perfect. Apparently Sophie's husband called Petra last week to ask if his wife could join. Have you seen him? Kim's eyes shone. Who? The husband, Don Pemberton. Her cheeks flushed as though the thought of him excited her. She locked her car and adjusted Dougie. I had seen him before. The first time was on the front cover of Pony and Rider magazine. I was wandering around Tesco, looking at the paperbacks, when my eyes fell not on Dom's face, but on Sophie, her face so solemn. I would have known her anywhere. She was on the edge of the photo next to a tall, dark-haired Dom and her mother-in-law, Elizabeth Pemberton. Elizabeth's hand rested on a beautiful chestnut-brown horse who had won some kind of championship. There were other family members in the photo, Elizabeth's daughter and son-in-law, according to the feature inside, and, of course, Sophie's baby boy Finn. I'm not normally one for judging people on appearance alone, but he is rather gorgeous, Kim went on. The second time I saw Dom was in the street, chatting with Claire and Gary, Evie's parents. They didn't see me, but I listened to Claire saying she needed extra help with Evie. And when I saw Claire and Gary go round Dom and Sophie's with a bottle of wine one evening, I felt sure they were close friends, that it was my way in. It was Gary who took me on to care for Evie. I'd followed him to the park and we got chatting. I told him I was out of work, that I was a qualified nanny. I reeled him in like a trout. I put up with Gary and Claire for one reason only, to get close to Sophie Edwards. Though things hadn't quite gone to plan. I'd thought the couple were friends of Sophie and Dom's, that I would get close to Sophie that way. But I'd learnt from watching her, on the rare times she ventured out, or those moments I glimpsed her standing alone in her bedroom window, that Sophie had no friends, a fact that suited me. My moment would come.